Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page layout, and I decided to try something different, I guess, for this fall layout. I know the Discover and Create collection kind of has a fall vibe to it, but it's still so bright and not what I usually use to document fall. So I decided to challenge myself and use this to document a corn maze and yeah, just kind of, a fall farm. These two papers are actually from the mixed media paper pad from the Discover and Create collection, and I decided to try to use those as my base instead of just a white background. So again, just trying to challenge myself, something different. It helps that the photos do have, like the bright green corn and the orange pumpkin, so that all of the colors kind of get tied in then. They don't just kind of stick out. So another way that I'm going to kind of tie all the colors in is by using this striped piece of paper on the outside. You saw that to make it look like the background kind of is cohesive, I had to trim quite a bit of the middle off, and so that obviously left a gap on the left hand side, so I had to figure out what paper to kind of fill in that gap, and so I chose this one just to kind of help tie in all of the colors. You can see for some reason the mixed media pad was just a little bit longer or taller, I don't know, than the striped paper, so I did have to trim that off a little bit, and I kind of gave you a good glimpse of where the photos are going to be. I am going to keep the 2 photos on page 1, and then I'm going to get 4 photos on page 2. So I did trim the bottom one down to, I believe, 4x4, and I'm just going to place these 2 right on the page and line it up on the edge. Originally, I thought maybe I would leave a little bit of space on the edge so that that blue mixed media could pop through. I just didn't like the way that looked. So instead, I kept it to the edge, and then that also helped me get all 4 photos on page 2. So you can see I skipped through, but I did double matte the middle photo on this page, which I'm going to pop up on foam tape. And then I double matted the 2 photos on page 1, keeping them together though. Sometimes I will separate the photos and matte each of them separate, but I decided to keep these 2 together and line that up on the edge of the page as well. I found my title on kind of I don't know what these stickers are called. They're not thickers, but kind of the title stickers. And it said, "Love this place." And we discovered this one, I guess, a handful of years ago, and it's definitely one of our favorites in the fall to visit. The corn maze is kind of unique where they have hole punches set up throughout the corn maze that you have to go find and punch kind of your card. And if you find all of the hole punches, then you get a prize at the end. So the kids really like that. It's just kind of a fun way, to, I guess, have a corn maze instead of just walking around aimlessly. You kind of have a goal. So I think we missed last year. Maybe we'll see if we can get there this year. I'm not sure yet. But these are, I think, from 2021. I have quite a few older fall photos that I'm really trying to kind of focus on getting documented this year, this October, because October is going to be all fall layouts. I did something similar last year, and you pick all of the newer fun photos and kind of pass over the older photos. So my goal is to get the older photos documented kind of first before I kind of move on. I have some from 2020 and 21. So those are the oldest ones I have left. So I didn't really know going in how I was going to embellish. I do have the chipboard embellishments, which are really fun. They are leaves and hearts, and I really thought I was going to use those. but I actually only use one small one. Instead, I found this giant mason jar, which I thought was adorable, and I decided to add that to the bottom next to the title to add to the title. Initially going into the layout, I thought I would have a larger cluster on the top left of page 1, but once I placed the title down in the bottom, I decided the title needed something extra. And so that mason jar and then some bright orange floral clusters, I don't know, I thought those looked really nice. So you can see I have a bunch of embellishments for this collection. So I'm just kind of going through seeing which embellishments maybe I will use, which would work best, I guess, for a fall layout. I did have kind of some, I think it may be, I want to say greenery, but I think it's just a stick. One of the washi stickers maybe that I layer behind that beautiful kind of rust orange flower, which I really like how that is almost the same color as the pumpkin my son is sticking his head out of. It just helps kind of incorporate the photos with the embellishments and really brings the layout together, I feel like. So I did kind of add that stick. That is one of the washi stickers. I think that is from, I think they're called the papery packs, where there's washi stickers, and then some really thin embellishments, which might be where these acorns are from as well, or just a regular embellishment pack. I can't remember, but to kind of help it look more fall, I decided to add the acorns down to the bottom left. Once I got that cluster, it was kind of a challenge, I guess, to figure out how and what to embellish with after this. That is from the chipboard pack there, that greenery, and I just liked the chipboard. Again, I added dimension with the foam tape, but I feel like adding chipboard kind of adds to that as well. And lucky for me, I did find 2 of those. So I am going to have one on the bottom right cluster and then one kind of at the top. Here is that chipboard heart I decided to use. It was just plain, and so I have some Tim Holtz crayons, and I was going to add some water to it because you can add water and kind of make it more watercolor, but I really liked how the crayon by itself looked on the heart and the chipboard. The problem is I'm afraid that is going to come off when I put it in a page protector, because even while I was taping it down, it was coming off of my fingers, and so it'll be interesting to see if that lasts and if it doesn't transfer to my page protector when I put it in there. So I decided to kind of commit to those 2 elements on the bottom right. Obviously, I need some more, which I have plenty of embellishments for this collection, I guess. So that wasn't really hard to find, but finding the perfect one was a bit of a challenge. I did find another little pack of acorns and decided to add 1 to each of the clusters on page 2 just to kind of tie those in. But when I layered the bottom one, I left kind of this space above it. And so I kind of was looking for something to fill in that space, and also to add a whole nother cluster up to the top of page 1. I really liked those white flowers. They did come in all kind of shapes and sizes, and I thought I would use more, but then I remembered I had pulled out all of my Scrap and Happy Studio flares, which I have quite a few fall ones, and decided to add that I Love Fall to the top, which is really the only place that says fall on the entire layout, which cider and donuts, a pumpkin, and corn maze all scream fall. So there's no guessing what season this is from. But I was happy to include a flare from Scrap and Happy Studio. I did eventually find a perfect saying and this perfect size to fill in that gap over on that bottom right cluster. And now I'm trying to remember what I add to that top. Okay, a reddish floral sticker. I knew I needed a third element up there, and I couldn't remember what I added, but did find a smaller kind of that orange color floral to help tie that in. But really, that is pretty close to it. I did have to fix this because my photo's up on foam tape plus the chipboard, greenery, and it just wasn't laying flat. So I did end up cutting some of the foam tape off to hopefully help that lay a little bit flatter. But I will definitely link this collection down below. I believe it is still available. It is little bit older, but I think it's absolutely beautiful and so fun. And actually, I did just create another 2-page layout, a back to school layout using this collection, and that was really fun. So keep your eye out for that one in the coming weeks. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.